Welcome back to Hong Kong. All week, young people here in this city have proved to be the bane of the authorities. They're the ones who've organised two of the biggest marches the former colony has ever seen, indeed Asia has ever seen. Yesterday, 2 million descended on the streets in protest against the government's postponed extradition bill to China and the gradual erosion of Hong Kong's democratic rights. And today, Joshua Wong, the student leader jailed for his part in the Umbrella Revolution, was released from prison only to join the march again hours later. The authorities here feel the heat of people power, and in energy territory controlled by China, that is almost unheard of. If the Umbrella Revolution had a recognizable figurehead, it is this young man who was released from jail this morning. Joshua Wong was only 17 when the protest started 5 years ago. He spent a month in prison for contempt of court. But as soon as he got out this morning, his contempt of the leadership was undimmed.
And let the whole world, let the international communities to realize that how Hong Kong people will not keep silence under the suppression of President Xi and the Chief Executive Carrie Lam. Carrie Lam must step down.
I spoke to Joshua 5 years ago and had no idea how prescient he would be. Are you afraid when you do this? Are you afraid that you might get arrested again because you've already spent a day or two in jail?
I don't actually. I believe that sometimes later I will be arrested again. But I believe that Hong Kong still have justice, and people will support me because although I violate the law, but people know that I'm fighting for justice. Yeah.
So only hours after his release and a quick change of shirt from white to black, Joshua Wong was back, doubling down on message and microphones. In the crowd, Rocky, an accountant, felt inspired.
Yes, he just got back like 5 hours ago, and he just came down here with us and doing our things to protect Hong Kong.
If the government here thought the protests were exhausted, they were wrong once again. The millions of yesterday may have gone back to work, but the thousands who keep up the pressure now know they can count on the rest to come out if necessary. People power on demand, summoned by WhatsApp.
The whole world is watching!
It is indeed. The whole world is watching, and China is recording it too. These cameras are mounted on the Chinese Army headquarters. What happens here matters because Hong Kong is the canary in China's gold mine. And China may well dominate this century like America dominated the last. Do you think in the end you will change China or will China change you?
I think we are building an international alliance to fight against the new type of authoritarian rule of China. We are not alone. A bigger enemy is coming, so don't look.
What's the bigger enemy?
The bigger enemy is the Communist Party in China trying to bridge capitalism with authoritarian rule and do it with the latest AI technology.
A sobering thought amongst the soaring spires. Despite its wealth, it's hard to imagine just how fragile Hong Kong feels, located on the underbelly of China, a rising nation of 1.3 billion people. But it's the ability to make money that saves Hong Kong. We spoke to someone who's been doing business here for almost half a century. A hangover from the handover, Mike Rouse started his career working for the British colonial government and has now taken Chinese nationality.
I mean, the mainland is the biggest investor in Hong Kong. Mainland enterprises put their international headquarters here. So you've got tech companies which are headquartered in Shenzhen, just across the river, and they think, oh, international headquarters, okay, other side of the river in Hong Kong. And they raise their funds here, they hire top talent here, including expatriate talent, whatever they need to go successfully overseas. They make a lot of investments internationally using their Hong Kong subsidiary. So when they buy a port or something, a container port overseas, it's the Hong Kong company that did it. When they buy a shipping line overseas, it's the Hong Kong company that did it. So the mainland companies enjoy the freedoms in Hong Kong as much as anyone else.
But these days, the stiff upper lip of pragmatism competes with the quivering lower lip of grief and anxiety. On the road where 35-year-old Mr. Leung jumped to his death 2 days ago, the buses may have resumed business, but the flowers and the pavement are still sacred ground. The police are even helping to cordon off the road out of respect. It's almost as if the people of Hong Kong are telling Beijing, we feel, therefore we are. And I should point out that Mike Rouse, the British businessman that you saw in my piece there, also took part in the march yesterday. Now, with me here is one of the protest organisers, Bonnie Leung. Bonnie, thank you so much for coming here to this square in the middle of the night, because it is 2:30 in the morning. You have done something extraordinary. You helped to organise two of the biggest marches this place, indeed Asia, has ever seen. What have you achieved?
Well, I'm very proud of Hong Kongers that in just 1 week, 1 million people took the streets. And after what the world has seen, that the police force in Hong Kong used excessive violence and lethal weapon against these people, we Hong Kongers, we do not afraid of standing up again. Instead, 2 million people took to the streets just 2 days before, and I'm very proud of it. And because of these 2 million people, a lot of things are happening here in Hong Kong inside our government.
Like what?
For example, the chief executive, we heard a lot of rumors that Carrie Lam is about to apologize in front of the camera again, which we really hope that they apologize will be sincere.
You don't hear the hardest word from her ever, do you?
No. But we heard rumors about it. And also, just hours ago, the head of the police force just tried to redefine what riots means. He just said that instead of the whole protest is a riot, he redefined it. Only 5 people are rioters, but we do not accept that.
Okay.
None of us are rioters.
But the point is, you're now part of the process of policy. I mean, although it's rather asymmetrical, there are a million of you on the streets, and then there's the beleaguered government. But you're part of the process now.
We really hope so. I really hope that with this momentum, all Hong Kong people still stand together, we still unite, and we stand firm of what we request. We really hope that real changes can happen.
I asked one of the legislators this question. I wonder what you think. Do you think that China will change Hong Kong, or can Hong Kong change China?
Well, for a very long time after the handover, Hong Kong people believe that we can be the window for China. For example, we have a good system here. We have the rule of law, we have the freedom, and we have human rights. We really hope that
Chinese businesses appreciate that. I mean, mainland businesses investing here come here precisely for that reason.
Yes, of course. Therefore, we really believe that the Chinese government, instead of crashing us down, they really should encourage Hong Kong being unique, such a unique Chinese city, instead of just another Shanghai or another Shenzhen. I really urge the Beijing government, if they are seeing this interview now, I really hope that they can reconsider of the policy towards Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is such a unique place that they should treasure.
I'm sure they're watching, but do you think that tanks on the streets like Tiananmen Square is ever a real danger or possibility in this city?
Well,
briefly.
After the police force did, I'm really not sure. I really hope not. And with your help, with the international communities watching, I believe that the Chinese government would not do so. But we really need your help.
Okay. Bonnie Leung, thank you very much indeed for joining us.